Hello, and welcome to today's live reading of Married Blind Kings of Screen, Book 2 by Morgana Bevan, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue, Finn. Come on, Charlie, you can't be serious. I'm sorry, Finn, but you knew the consequences. My agent sighed on the other end of the phone. I don't enjoy playing the bad guy. Honestly, I don't. Then don't. Ordinarily, I would work to keep the slightest hint of desperation from my voice, but all bets were off in this situation. I needed out ASAP. Otherwise, I'd be putting a ring on a stranger for America's reality TV loving masses in just 2 weeks. Finn McCarthy didn't do reality TV. Finn McCarthy had multiple awards under his belt, and he didn't stoop to cheesy gimmicks. He also didn't talk about himself in the third person. Jesus, I'm losing it. You knew the deal, Finn. I warned you the last time, and you still. A hushed voice cut him off, and I sank deeper into my sofa while he argued with his assistant. Take your time, Charlie. It's not like you've tied my life to a ticking bomb or anything. He sighed again. How long have I looked after your best interests in this town? 5 years. But clearly you've lost your damn mind. Making me marry a gold digging stranger and broadcasting it to millions is not looking after my best interests. My heart pounded and sweat beaded on my forehead. The longer I let the situation spiral, the more it made me panic. How could a TV show require you to legally marry someone? The entire industry had gone insane, right alongside my agent. Seriously, Charlie, what if they pair me up with the right idiot and she tries to fight the prenup? Not to toot my horn, but multi award winning actors raked in the cash. When they weren't caught in the bathroom with the studio head's 20-year-old daughter, that is. Okay, so I'd fucked up royally. But did that mean they should punish me with potentially life alternating consequences because a pretty woman offered herself to me? Hell no. Next time you decide to make an ass of yourself in public, you'll remember the next 3 months, Charlie said. If his voice held so much as a grain of remorse, he hit it well. I'm doing everything I can to make sure you have a long career, Finn. How about you get on board and help me? Okay. I blew out a breath, a small fizzle of hope springing to life inside of me. What about one of those survivalist shows? That's got to be better for my rep than this. Charlie chuckled. I like the image, bud, but the world already knows you as the macho man. I'd even need a spider if that would help me get out of tux fittings and ring shopping. It's not good for a well rounded career actor. Charlie let those words drop like the dagger they were. You told me you wanted to be the next Ryan Reynolds. Is that still true? I chewed my lip and wished I hadn't picked Charlie for a second. I should have picked a ruthless American, someone born in LA. Hell, keeping my British agent might have worked more to my favor. Instead, I went for a Canadian transplant. The second passed fast, unfortunately. Yes, I grumbled. Then trust me to do what's good for you. I dragged a hand through my hair, biting back the desperate no sitting at the tip of my tongue. I did trust him, usually. The thought of marrying someone for damage control put a sour taste in my mouth. Add cameras, producers, and undoubtedly awkward questions to the mix, and I would turn feral. I'd seen the original of this show. After working extra hard to keep my personal life as personal as possible in this business, I did not want it painted all over billboards. I hate talking to reporters, Charlie. How am I meant to handle the producers? My best friends were taking bets on how fast I tanked the whole thing. Honestly, they weren't wrong. I'll be standing at the altar, feet tapping and my eyes on the wrong door while I worked out my fifth exit strategy. The point is, it made me feel dirty, and I was not in the business of doing things that aligned me with the lowest tier of Hollywood scum. Like you do everything else, Finn, Charlie's faith in me rang loud in his words. Given my knees uncontrollable, bouncing, or shaky hands, I didn't deserve his misplaced faith. It's a role. Everything froze. My breath, my frazzled thoughts, my hands. Say that again? You're an incredible actor. Just pick a persona and give them that. There's no reason they have to see you unless you want them to. Pick a persona. Just another job. Let's say, hypothetically, I can do that, I whispered, a temporary calm flowing through my body. There's that confident Irish attitude I expect from you, I snorted. And there's that full of Canadian bullshit I expect from you. Shaking my head, I collapsed back against the sofa cushions. The leather whined beneath me. There's really nothing I can say to talk you out of this. You need a time machine, my friend. Suck it up and take your punishment, McCarthy, Charlie said, a thread of steel in his tone. Next time a pretty woman comes on to you, you might think better of fucking her in a very public bathroom. What if my new wife is one of those pretty women? Charlie's heavy sigh rattled the phone. Abby. New email. Subject. The solution to all your problems. I snorted. Solutions to my problems wouldn't fit in an email. I needed a time turner and a fourth job to help my sister clear her medical debt. It didn't matter how many pretty vintage garments I flipped or how much my commission I made as a travel agent. We needed a miracle. Despite my doubts, I clicked on the email, a tiny grain of hope warming its way to the forefront. Did I mention the solution came with a total hottie attached? Click the link and thank me later. With all the details. Roz. I frowned at the glaring neon blue web link. Why did Roz think Infinity Productions could help me? A small thread of common sense shouted at me for even thinking about clicking on a strange link in an email. Maybe someone had hijacked Rosalind's account, although she usually communicated in links and memes. Throwing caution to the wind, I hit the link. The page loaded and my head cocked to the side, considering the brightly colored advert before me. TV show seeking brides for a brand new marriage experiment. She can't be serious. I had my cell phone in hand in a blink. What the hell are they after? Abby, did you get my email? Oh my God, isn't it amazing? Rosalind said, her words merging into one excited whoosh of breath. Possibly. But, Roz, I don't know what I'm reading. I chewed my lip, scanning the limited details again. What is it? You know that TV show, Married Blind, I used to force you to watch before I moved out? Yes. They're making a celebrity edition. She paused, expecting a gasp of awe, I imagined. We'd been best friends since college. We were predictable to each other, to each other at this point, and they want perfectly normal people to match them with. She waited again, and this time I smirked, sensing her frustration. Get a little excited, Abby. They'll pay you to marry a celeb and take part in the show for 3 months. It's perfect. What's the catch? Rosalind snorted. No catch beyond the obvious, honey. The obvious being what? Spell it out for me. Well, for starters, you'd be marrying a stranger. Got that part. I brushed it aside as if she could see. Next. They're celebs, so you'll probably have to move for the duration of the show. I swallowed hard at that. Sure, Ava had been back on her feet for nearly a year now. She'd even returned to her job, and her gorgeous red hair had grown back. She was happy, almost like before the diagnosis and chemo. But did that mean I stopped worrying? Of course not. I'd nearly lost my sister and my best friend. The thought of leaving her now, of vanishing to the other side of the country, even helped pay off her substantial medical bills. How could I? Stop the internal debate, Roz said. All the excitement drained from her voice. You can talk to your sister, Abby. She'll understand. Heck, I think she'll beg you to go. You don't know that. You already talked to her? Maybe. Maybe. Roz? All right, she sent me the link. I gasped. Every eye in the travel shop shot towards me, customers and colleagues alike. Rosalind always had the worst timing. My boss's brows rose in question, genuine concern flickering across her face. I shook my head at her and pushed back from my desk. Why wouldn't she talk to me herself? I hissed as I rushed to the back room and away from curious ears. Why are you the messenger? How should I know? Her attempt at innocence fell flat and she sighed. Fine. Ava thought you'd feel pressured into saying yes if she asked. I rolled my eyes. That's not true. Isn't it? No. Ross sighed again, her exasperation exploding in my ear. Think about it for a second, Abs. I'm telling you about a fun thing, an exciting experience. Bonus, it just comes with a nice paycheck. What's your point? My brows furrowed. I sank into an uncomfortable plastic chair, my mind spinning enough that I didn't really feel the pinch of the seat. We only really used the back room to store our coats and bags, but the bosses had set it up with chairs, a table, a fridge, and a microwave. With the lack of windows, none of us ever wanted to spend too much time inside with the door shut. Far too depressing. Imagine how you would have taken my pitch if Ava asked. I would have filled out the form already. I dragged a shaking hand through my hair. So, now that you've listened to the specifics, are you going to do it? The excitement returned threefold. I blew out a breath, indecision a heavy weight in my chest. How much money are we talking about? I don't know. You'd have to fill in the form and hope you get picked to find out. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Right at this moment, the decision had to be about me. Could I marry a stranger? Did I want to leave my family and friends for 3 months? It had been a rough couple of years, and as much as I hated to admit it, New York didn't have the same happy hold on me anymore. Too many bad things had happened within the city, including my sister's battle with cancer. Working 3 jobs also robbed me of any joy from my life. Even if I had the hours to fall in love with the city again, constant exhaustion didn't allow for much. Maybe a brief break from the city and my normal life would revive me somehow. I could get in some excitement and shake off the shadows while hopefully earning enough to pay off my sister's debt for good. How could I say no to that kind of opportunity? The answer was simple: I couldn't. I'll do it. Interview 1. Question: how would you define your type? Ben: I don't have a type. Interviewer: are you sure about that? I wouldn't have said it if it weren't true. So if I Googled your red carpet company, they wouldn't all be tall, blonde, and leggy? Finn: maybe. I don't remember. Interviewer handing over papers. So you didn't date these women? Finn: why did you print pictures? Jesus, man, that's creepy. Yes, they're all blonde supermodels. Don't you understand what image control is? Interviewer: does that mean none of your past companions were your type? Finn: they were gorgeous, but I dated none of them. My agent picked them all for whatever publicity stunt he had planned. Interviewer: so what is your type? Finn McCarthy. Finn: do we really have to do this? Can't you just pick someone and speed this entire ordeal along? Interviewer: I'm not interested in furthering your acting career, Mr. McCarthy. I'm here to find your perfect match. You don't really mean that. Come on, it's all a farce. We'll all divorce in 3 months. I can't say I agree. Now, how about you try and get on board with the process so I can do my job? Fine, if you trap me with a starry eyed fan, I swear I'll make your life hell. Find me a redhead with fire in her eyes and an interesting story. That I can do. Chapter 1. Abby. D-Day had arrived, and nerves had claimed me as their bitch. Add in the unbearable heat of Los Angeles, the cameraman and producer hovering in the corner adjusting their equipment, the assistant setting up lighting, and I'd be lucky if I didn't collapse. Just getting married to a total stranger for TV. No pressure at all. Ava and Ross gave me awkward thumbs ups from the doorway. Each of them grinned at me, excitement dancing in their eyes. Side by side, they looked like night and day, dressed to match. Ava with her bobbed auburn hair, and Ross with her raven pixie cut in pink. Grecian-inspired bridesmaid dresses. Roz's claimed they'd been the next trend. The true angel and devil on my shoulder, the punk rocker Roz had not been unimpressed when the producer handed it to her. I tried to return their excitement, revel in their support, but it all fell flat, right along with my hair. The hairdresser had spent a good hour fighting my curls. She'd started all sunny and welcoming. All of that had morphed fairly quickly. Now I'd catch her glaring at my fizzing chunk. How does an updo sound? She asked, forcing a smile back to her lips. Her southern accent came through stronger than it had before. My lips twitched at her frustration before I schooled myself for the inconsiderate reaction. Just because her efforts would cause this nerve-wracking train to gain speed didn't mean I should be unkind. I'm good with that. Is that air conditioner unit for show? She snapped at an assistant. He skittered away, muttering promises to fix it. She shoved her fringe back with the back of her hand, grimacing at the sweat transfer. If you expect her hair to stay put, someone should fix the heat, she shouted, glaring at the producer. My lips twitched again, and she smirked at me. Nothing happens if you don't light a fire under them. Is that an inside tip? I asked. A genuine smile claimed my lips for the first time since I'd set foot in the building. When we'd arrived outside the bland white hotel, Ava, Roz, and I looked at each other in absolute confusion. A TV show with celebrities could have sprung for a hell of a lot more. And then the producer Tyler whisked us through the back door and into the most opulent hallway I had ever seen. Colorful Art Deco molding outfitted every corner of the ceiling. Intricate pillars lined the hallway. Then he opened the door to a team of beauticians who plucked and waxed us to the nth degree while they briefed us on the day's events. To say it was distracting would have been an understatement. The Elise Atelier lace mermaid dress I'd picked out weeks ago hung in the corner, taunting my sweaty face with its beauty. I worried for all of 5 minutes back in New York when I tried the dress on that it would be too delicate and the train too long. What if I came across as over the top? What if all the other brides went for neck to toe lace too? Was the plunging neckline too revealing for national television? Thankfully, Ava quickly slapped the camera shy insecurities out of me. She reminded me, in no uncertain terms, that everything about this experience needed to be my choice, including my clothing, hair, and makeup. So I chose the dress I loved and quit worrying about it. Oh, aren't you an angel? The hairdresser gushed as a runner set up a fan next to me. I blinked at her sudden change in mood, but then I spotted an eye roll and her backhanded southern charm made sense. I needed to spend more time outside of New York. Tyler clapped his hands when my hair finally took shape and cool air caressed my glistening skin. Then there was a camera in my face again. How's everything going here? He smiled wide, working overtime to put me at ease. Seated as I was, he towered over me, even though he only had a couple of inches on me normally. He pushed his floppy brown hair back from his face, grimacing. I really should have gotten my hair cut before Bora Bora. We'll both be suffering in the heat soon enough. He flashed me an amused smile. Mind if I grab a couple thoughts before you head into makeup? He'd done everything he could to help me chill out. Unfortunately, the only thing that would put me at ease was a shot of bourbon. They understandably frowned on that kind of thing at 11 a.m. Sure, I tried for Sunny, but the word came out as more of a croak. Some water? Tyler asked, his gaze already scoured the room, searching for an assistant. Ethan, grab Abby a bottle of water from the fridge. He settled down on a chair across from me, leaning forward with a notebook clutched in his hands and an eager gleam in his eyes. His lightweight black suit creased in the wrong places, but he didn't care. Liam here will shadow you until the ceremony. He nodded towards the dark haired guy hidden behind the camera. But you won't need to talk to the camera anymore. Act naturally and talk to your family and friends. If you're excited or nervous, don't be afraid to experience it. Sure. The word tripped off my tongue, but did I truly mean it? No matter how much he briefed me or how patient they were, it still felt weird to catch the flashing red dot of the camera from the corner of my eye. You'll get used to it. Chill. Once we're done, I'm going to slip out and check on your groom. His brows danced, eyes shining with mischief. Make sure he's looking handsome for you. I chuckled and he grinned, nodding at me encouragingly. Some of the tension drained from my body for the first time since they had whisked me into the bridal suite. Ready for some quick questions? Fire away, I nodded, shifting in my seat and tightening the tie on my robe. Okay, remember what I said. Answer in full sentences and count to 10 before you respond. Satisfied? Tyler glanced at the cameraman, lifting his chin. The red light flicked on and Liam nodded. Okay. Abby, are you excited to meet your groom? Tyler asked. He smiled encouragingly as I hesitated. I take your time if you need to think about the answer. Was I excited? My hands shook and a lump kept trying to form in my throat. But was that excitement or terror? The same cycle of doubts had run through my head for weeks while I went through the process of joining the show. Yet, despite the repeated questions about my sanity, I hadn't pulled out. Could I thank my drive to help my sister for that? The answer should have been an immediate yes. But I'm nervous to meet my groom.